Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So Mataji, Amrita Madhavi, Mataji, she hasn't joined, looks like.
Yeah, I think it's 7:19, so you
Okay.
can wait. Message, send her message. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Yeah, I messaged her, Prabhuji, so wait for 1 minute, otherwise I will call her.
Okay, Mataji.
Yesterday she confirmed, so Madhavi will come.
Hare Krishna. It's over. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji messaged me. She is joining.
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Okay, Mataji, I joined. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome you all to the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. I'm gonna read a quote by Srila Prabhupada. Happiness is generally perceived through our senses. A stone, for instance, has no senses and cannot perceive happiness and distress. Developed consciousness can perceive happiness and distress more intensely than undeveloped consciousness. Trees have on trees have consciousness, but it is not developed. Trees may stand for a long time in all kinds of weather, but they have no way of perceiving miseries. If a human being were asked to stand like a tree for only 3 days or even less, he would not be able to tolerate it. The conclusion is that every living being feels happiness or distress according to the degree of development of his consciousness. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome you all to Srimad Bhagavatam call. May I know who all have joined the call today?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Nikunjara Sudas from German.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for joining, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. This is Chandramodi from India.
Hare Krishna, Chandramoli Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for joining the call. And Prabhuji, is this first time you're joining the call?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm regularly Facebook follower Mataji's classes.
Okay.
Especially this session, I'm coming first time.
Okay, sure, Prabhuji. Yeah, we would like to
Hare
welcome you
Krishna.
to our call with the 3 Haribol. And please join us whenever you can, Prabhu.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Welcome, Prabhuji. And please give your association every day. So this is Shamarasika
Thank you.
Devi. Dandavat Pranam. Vishnu Prabhupada Guru
Dandavat
Maharaj.
Pranam Mataji.
This is Shamarasika Devi Dasi from Germantown, Maryland.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Please
Krishna
accept my
Mataji.
humble
Dandavat Pranam
obeisances.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining the call, Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Pooja from Sydney.
Hare Krishna Puja Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for joining the call. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are very fortunate. We have Her Grace Amrta Madhavi Devi Dasi Mataji. And Mataji is going to enlighten us Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17, verse number 21. Hare Krishna Mataji, you may take over the call, please.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, all of you, my dear devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. So now, before we start, let us start with the prayer. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swami Niti Namini Namaha Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayini Gaura Katha Damadaya Nagara Gramatarini Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat. Okay, thank you very much, dear devotees. We're going to now start Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 21. Oh, yes, I was late by 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I'm so sorry for putting you under anxiety for that much time. I was with the phone calls, many phone calls today. I'm so sorry, and they were urgent and important, and it had to be done today. And I somehow finished it before this class, and so I was late. Sorry. And we're going to do now Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 21. I think we can start the recording if you're not started, in case you've forgotten. Okay, Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 10:21. Eka srujati bhutani Bhagavan Atma Mayaya Esham bandham cha moksham cha sukham dukkham cha nishkalaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, unaffected by the conditions of the material world. He creates all the conditioned souls by his own personal potency. Because of being contaminated by the material energy, the living entity is put into ignorance and thus into different conditions of bondage. Sometimes by knowledge, the living entity is given liberation. In Sattva-guna and Rajoguna, he is subjected to happiness and distress. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The question may be raised why the living entities are situated in different conditions and who has arranged this. The answer is that it has been done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead without anyone's help. The Lord has his own energies, Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate, and one of them, namely the external energy, creates the material world and the varieties of happiness and distress for the conditioned souls under the supervision of the Lord. The material world consists of three modes of material nature: Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. By Sattva-guna, Lord maintains the material world. By Rajoguna, he creates it, and by Tamoguna, he annihilates it. After the varieties of living entities are created, they are subject to happiness and distress according to their association. When they are in Sattva Guna, the mode of goodness, they feel happiness. When in Rajoguna, they are distressed. And when in Tamoguna, they have no sense of what to do or what is right and wrong. So, this is exactly telling us why we suffer or why bad things happen to good people. Bad things happen to good people when good people are under the influence of mode of passion. Simple. When we are in Rajoguna, distress is bound to be there. Like when man plans for happiness, misery begins. I didn't say this. It was told by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, we have to understand that if we are really wanting happiness and if we are chasing happiness, then we are going to be in distress. And why it happens? When we think of happiness and we start endeavoring, the more we feel we didn't get happiness, the more we will struggle because we become more determined to become happy. When we are more determined to become happy and the more we struggle, that high determination to be happy is nothing but high passion to be happy. And one in high passion is going to actually be in distress soon. What happens to these people in high passion is they are totally goal oriented and sometimes they become such perfectionists that they look down upon everyone else. That's why I have learned from His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj's class in ISKCON Desire Tree. You will find his class on Grahastha. So in that he says, a person in the mode of passion, he thinks that he is right always and everyone else is wrong. Even if he commits the mistake, he puts the blame on others because he believes he is right, he believes he is great, he believes he is the best, and he believes that he is the most smartest, and everyone are fools like that. So people who are in mode of passion, these are their characteristics, and they always suffer and they blame everyone else for their suffering except their own mode of passion. accept their passionate tendency. They will blame everyone else. So, if we are blamed for by someone, we just have to understand that the other person is not the cause of our distress, but it is high mode of passion which he has allowed in his life that has made us suffer in his association. And if we understand that he is under the influence of mode of passion and that's why he's behaving like that, then we are in Sattva Guna because we are understanding that, and therefore we will be happy. That is why Prabhupada says one in the mode of Sattva is happy because he understands. His Holiness Bhaktirasamrita Swami Maharaj has told in that class that one who is in the mode of Sattva, he is in full knowledge and he has answers to all the questions, and he is also attached to a particular activity and he does it with a peaceful heart, with all sincerity, and he does not cheat. A person in Sattva does not cheat to get a profit. But a person in mode of passion, he does not mind if he has to cheat, but he wants profit. He will do anything to get profit, even if he has to go in the wrong track. That's a person in the mode of passion. But the mode of person in mode of sattva, he will say, I will rather be a loser, but I will not take the wrong track. And therefore, naturally, the one who is living in a right way, he is always blessed with happiness. Because one who follows the God's laws, he is blessed with extra freedom in every way. That's why people in the higher planetary system, like the heavenly planets, they are having more freedom because they are aligning more with the God's laws. If we see our neighbors suffering with terrible deadly diseases or deformed body or very ugly looks, then we have to understand that they have not followed God's laws in the last birth or they have broken God's laws in a big way. So now the only solution for them is to align themselves as per God's laws. Because the more we align with God's laws, the more we become happy. And a person in sattva is always trying to be aligning himself as per God's laws. Therefore, he is always happy. But what about the devotees of everyday chant group? They are doing something just to please Krishna, just to please their spiritual master. Spiritual master them wants them to be in association. That is why even if they can't go to temple, they're creating an online temple like this, and they're having everyday chanting. Before this class, every day 2 hour chanting, and then every day Srimad Bhagvatam or some other spiritual topics. And therefore, they are aligning not in Sattva Guna, but it is above Sattva because they are not doing something because it's just right. They are doing it because it pleases Krishna, because it pleases spiritual master. So the one who does anything to please spiritual master and Krishna, he is above Sattva. Therefore, they will have everything needed. They will never feel bound. They will never feel bound. If a devotee, even if he is financially very poor, he will still not feel bound. He will not feel, I am not financially free. He will say, whatever I need, Krishna has provided. All I have to do is all the time chant, and for that, I don't need financial freedom. So, the one who is having that high levels of desire to please Krishna, he does not feel bound, and such a person, when he leaves the body, he will get placed in higher planetary system if he so wishes, or if he wants to go back to God, he shall go back where he will be fully free because he will not have any selfish desire to gratify his senses. Only those who are having high levels of interest in fulfilling sense gratification, they suffer more. So we move to the next verse now. Canto 6, chapter 17, text 22. Natasya kaschid daita pratipo na jnati bandhur na paro na chaswa samasya niranjanasya sukena raga uta eva rosha. Canto 6, chapter 17, text 22, translation by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is equally disposed towards all living entities. Therefore, no one is very dear to him, and no one is a great enemy for him. No one is his friend, and no one is his relative. Being unattached to the material world, he has no affection for so-called happiness or hatred for so-called distress. The two terms, happiness and distress, are relative. Since the Lord is always happy, for him there is no question of distress. So there is no purport for this. So I would like to just dwell on these lines. But there are so many points covered here. First of all, I want to say that what we are now speaking is a part of the answer or speech given by Maharaja Chitraketu in response to the curse of loving Mother Parvati. Just like a mother lovingly punishes children when they are committing a mistake to discipline them. Just like that, Mother Parvati says, "My dear son," and she curses him. "My dear son, I will curse you." So this was her loving gesture to correct Chitraketu's style of speech. He was not supposed to speak like that, though he didn't mean much disrespect, but his words were very disrespectful to a very great Vaishnava, Lord Shiva, the topmost Vaishnava. And he is like a father, and Mother Durga is like a mother for all of us in the material world. And therefore, Chitraketu was at fault, says Srila Prabhupada in the previous verse purport, previous verse, one of the previous verses purport. So now, after getting the curse, he just humbles down and he begs, he just does pranam to Mother Parvati and pleases her. And then he is speaking all these things. So the previous verse also was that, and he's speaking very much with all the knowledge, because he has got knowledge from Narada Muni and I think Rishi Angira or somebody. So when his son had died and when he was in total distress, and that time he got all the lessons from Narada Muni. And so in knowledge he's speaking. So he's saying that Krishna is equally disposed to all. And actually, Krishna is not enemy to anybody, nor is somebody extra dear, nor is he partial like that. He's not partial because he loves everybody equally, and he does not hate anybody. Because he loves everybody equally, and he's not partial to someone. So in that respect, he's not anybody's friend, or he's not anybody's relative. But actually, the only relative we have and the only well-wisher we have is Krishna. So it's not from that perspective. It's from the perspective that he's not partial like that. And being unattached to the material world, the Lord has no affection for so-called happiness. Why? Why it's called so-called happiness? The so-called happiness is nothing but the absence of misery. In the material world, absence of misery is called relief or happiness. Like if there's a terrible itch, once the itch stops, I feel, now I feel better. And there will be a smile. So now I don't have an itch also. But am I happy about it? No, I don't even value it. But when there is an itch and the itch stops, then I say, what a relief. So nice. So that does not mean that is happiness. A relief from an itch is not happiness. It is just an absence of misery. So here in this material world, people call absence of misery as happiness, and Lord has no attachment for such absence of misery. So like this we are reading in this translation, the two terms happiness and distress are relative. They are relative to the itch. If there's an itch, it's called distress. If the itch goes, then it's called happiness. It's relative to a problem. So it is relative. So since the but Lord is not his Lord is always happy. He's not having happiness based on the absence of problems, because there is no problem in Vaikuntha only. In the abode of Lord, there is no problem. So that's the meaning. So there's no distress for the Lord. Next. Canto 6, chapter 17, text 23. तथापि तच्छक्ति विसर्गयेषां सुखाय दुःखाय हिताय बन्धाय मोक्षाय च मृत्युजन्मनो शरीरिणां संसृतये कल्पते. Canto 6, chapter 17, text 23, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Although the Supreme Lord is unattached to our happiness and distress according to karma, and although no one is his enemy or favorite, he creates pious and impious activities through the agency of his material potency. Thus, for the continuation of the materialistic way of life, he creates happiness and distress, good fortune and bad, bondage and liberation, birth and death. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate doer of everything, in his original transcendental existence, he is not responsible for the happiness and distress or bondage and liberation of the conditioned souls. These are due to the results of the fruitive activities of the living entities within this material world. By the order of a judge, one person is released from jail and another is imprisoned. But the judge is not responsible, for the distress and happiness of these different people is due to their own activities. Although the government is ultimately the supreme authority, the justice is administered by the departments of the government, and the government is not responsible for the individual judgments. Therefore, government is equal to all citizens. Similarly, Supreme Lord is neutral to everyone, but for the maintenance of law and order, his supreme government has various departments which control the activities of the living entities. Another example given in this regard is that lilies open or close because of the sunshine, and thus the bumblebees enjoy or suffer. But the sunshine and the sun glow are not responsible for the happiness and distress of the bumblebees. So you see, two analogies are given by Srila Prabhupada. One is the lilies, the beautiful lilies, they open, and the bumblebees, so it comes and it sits, it keeps on sucking the honey at the wrong time when it is about to sunset. When there's a sunset, the bee is here and the lily closes. And it never opens till next morning. So with suffocation, the bumblebee dies. Now, who is responsible for the distress of the bumblebee? It is not the sunlight. It's not that the sun vanished. Sun is not the culprit. It is the ignorance of the bumblebee that is the cause. If bumblebee was a little alert towards the sunset, and if it could have left at the right time, it would not have died. Same way, we are punished for our faults. We are like the bumblebees, and Surya Dev, the sunshine, is like Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we are responsible for our suffering. It's not the sunset. That's the cause. Also, Prabhupada gives another analogy about the jail, the prison house. In the prison house, somebody gets released from the prison and somebody enters the prison. Now, if somebody is released, it's not that the government is partial to him, because he has finished his punishment. So the duration of the punishment is over. So he's leaving. So, so if we are now not suffering because we are not under the influence of the bad karmas of the past, means it's over for us and we have taken up to devotional service. So when a person in the prison gets purified, he is released from the jail. But if there's a person who is guilty of committing crimes, then he is put inside the jail. So who is responsible? It is not the jail or it is not the judge who is responsible. It is his own criminal activities that puts him into the punishment zone. So like that, we are not supposed to blame. And also Prabhupada explains the government is not at fault. It is a discretion of the judge who asks that the criminal be punished. It's a judgment of the judge that is the responsible thing. Similarly, here three modes of nature are like the judge. And government means its Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not giving us punishments, but it is his appointed Maya Devi, all the three modes of nature, is punishing us. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead is not the cause of our distress, just like government or Narendra Modi, our government, Indian government is headed by Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi is not the cause if I have to be jailed today. It is my criminal activities which will take me to the jail. It's not Narendra Modi. Yes, Narendra Modi has ensured that there is a court, there is a prison, and he has given them, delegated the task of punishing to the judges and to the prison. Judges will pass judgment and prison is going to punish us. So this material world is like a prison and Mother Durga is like a judge with three modes of nature. She's really pulling us by our nose like a three ropes, in the nose of a bull, three ropes, they pull back and bull gets hurt and it starts walking. Same way, three modes punish us. But it is Mother Durga's three modes that is punishing. It's not Krishna. So Krishna is not the cause of our punishments also. That's what we are learning in this verse. Go to the next verse now. Oh, what is the time? It's okay, 6:20. 10 to 6, chapter 17, text 24. Verse Atha prasadayena tvam shapamukshaya bhamini yanmanyase yasaduktam mama tat shamyatam sati. 10 to 6, chapter 17, text 24, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. O mother, you are now unnecessarily angry, but since all my happiness and distress are destined by my past activities, I do not plead to be excused or relieved from your curse. Although what I have said is not wrong, please let whatever you think is wrong be pardoned. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Being fully aware of how the results of one's karma accrue the laws of nature, Chitraketu did not want to be released from Parvati's curse. Nonetheless, he wanted to satisfy her because although his verdict was natural, she was displeased with him. As a matter of course, Maharaja Chitraketu begged pardon from Parvati. So you see, he feels because actually he didn't intend anything bad, but his wordings were not respectful. Wordings had to be polished. We cannot speak. That's why we have in Bhagavad Gita, the shloka, 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 15th verse. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat. So what is that? Anudvegakaram vakyam. Whatever we speak, it should not put others into anxiety. Anudvegakaram vakyam. Satyam priya hitam chayat. It should be truthful, priya. It should be pleasing to the other person. Even if we are speaking something right, we cannot be speaking in a displeasing way. Then it is not. Then it is not the austerity of speech. Says Bhagavad Gita. So he did not follow austerity of speech that Mother Parvati became displeased. So, he might have spoken something right with the sense of humor in his perspective, but that was not humor for Mother Parvati. That was like an insult for her. She didn't like it. So he is saying, so though I didn't mean to say anything wrong, but since you have got hurt, so whatever hurt feeling that you got, for that you please pardon me. So Prabhupada is saying that as a matter of course, Chitraketu begged pardon from Parvati. That means he had to beg pardon because his words made her angry. So when our words make someone else angry, even though we don't mean it, then what we learn is, then even though we didn't speak something wrong, even though we didn't mean something wrong, even though we had all good intentions, then also if the other person takes our words offensively, then we learn from Chitraketu that we should beg forgiveness. So you see, he's saying that he wanted to satisfy her because although his verdict was natural, she was displeased with him. So because she was displeased, so for whatever part she was displeased, to the extent she was displeased, he wanted her forgiveness. That's why he begged pardon. He said, I beg pardon does not mean you don't have to undo the punishment. No, let punishment be there because that is coming as per my karma. But I don't want you to be angry with me. I'm sorry for that. Like that. So we go to the next verse. Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 25. Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Prasadya Girishau Chitraketur Arindama Jagama Swavimanena Pashyato Smayato Smayatostayaho Tayoho Pashyatosmayatostayoho. So Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 25, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Shri Shukadeva Goswami continued, O Parikshit, subduer of the enemy, after Chitraketu satisfied Lord Shiva and his wife Parvati, he boarded his airplane and left as they looked on. When Lord Shiva and Parvati saw that Chitraketu, although informed of the curse, was unafraid, they smiled, being fully astonished by his behavior. You know, what is it telling that Chitraketu was not afraid? He said that whatever I deserve, may I have it. But I hurt you, O mother. Please forgive me for the pain I gave. But whatever curse you gave, you are not at fault. It is my karma. So I accept it. So like that, the way he accepted it very graciously, it actually surprised Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva. That even I have experienced that if I am not affected by the opponent's anger, and if I stay peaceful, I'm sure many devotees are like that. So the other party, they become a little surprised. And in future, if they happen to be our cab driver or auto driver, if they meet us, they will deal with us more affectionately and more joyous. This is my experience. And with family members, if it happens, they become a little surprised and then they forget it. But they become surprised. And same happened here with Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva. Next verse. Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 26. Tatastu Bhagavan Rudro Rudrani Idamabbravi Devarshi Daitya Siddhanam Parsha Parshadanam Cha Shrinvatam. Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 26, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, in the presence of the great sage Narada, the demons, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, and his personal associates, Lord Shiva, who is most powerful, spoke to his wife Parvati while they all listened. So now, actually, Lord Shiva was a silent spectator. When Chitraketu spoke many things and he laughed, when Lord Shiva was embracing Mother Parvati in the presence of the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, in the presence of Lord Shiva's personal associates in the presence of great sage Narada, in all their presence, when Lord Shiva was embracing Mother Parvati, whatever King Chitraketu spoke, and he laughed, and whatever Mother Parvati spoke, and finally she cursed. And then, in response to the curse, whatever King Chitraketu spoke, saying he deserves it if that is his karma. After all this, and then Chitraketu very graciously left the place. So, after all this, now in the presence of the same crowd who are the silent spectators, now Lord Shiva is replying to Mother Parvati like this. Let's see what is that. Canto 6, chapter 17, text 27. Shri Rudra Uvacha Krishtavati Asi Sushroni Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha Mahatmyam Britya Brityanam Nishprihanam Mahatmanam. Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 27, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shiva said, My dear, beautiful Parvati, have you seen the greatness of the Vaishnavas? Being servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, they are great souls and are not interested in any kind of material happiness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shiva, the husband of Parvati, told his wife, My dear Parvati, you are very beautiful in your bodily features. Certainly you are glorious, but I do not think that you can compete with the beauty and glory of devotees who have become servants of Supreme Personality of God. Of course, Lord Shiva smiled when he joked with his wife in that way, for others cannot speak like that. The Supreme Lord, Shiva continued, is always exalted in his activities. And here is another example of his wonderful influence on King Chitraketu, his devotee. Just see, although you cursed the king, he was not at all afraid or sorry. Rather, he offered respect to you, called you mother, and accepted your curse, thinking himself faulty. He did not say anything in retaliation. This is the excellence of a devotee. By mildly tolerating your curse, he has certainly excelled the glory of your beauty and your power to curse him. I can impartially judge that this devotee Chitraketu has defeated you and your excellence simply by becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tarorapi Sahishnuna. Just like a tree, a devotee can tolerate all kinds of curses and reverses in life. This is the excellence of a devotee. Indirectly, Lord Shiva forbade Parvati to commit the mistake of cursing the devotee like Chitraketu. He indicated that although she was powerful, the king, without showing any power, had excelled her power by his tolerance. See, this particular verse is speaking about the real beauty of a devotee. What is beauty? It is not the external beautiful features. It is the internal charming, attractive qualities. Devotees, with their sensitive speech, they actually charm the others around them. Especially the angry people, they get charmed by the levels of tolerance of devotees. So, Lord Shiva is saying, look at the level of tolerance of Maharaja Chitraketu, who accepted your curse very gracefully, And look at your tolerance, that you could not tolerate his words. He could tolerate your curse, your angry curse, but you could not tolerate his laughter. So you are no doubt very beautiful, but he being a devotee, because of his quality of tolerance, he is far more beautiful. And he became beautiful simply because Lord Sankarshana gave his association to Maharaj Chitraketu. When Maharaj Chitraketu came out of ignorance after hearing Narada's lecture, and after getting the mantra from Narada Muni, he just followed what Narada Muni said, and therefore he could please the Lord Sankarshana, and Lord Sankarshana appeared before him, and he blessed him so nicely, profusely, saying that you are in knowledge, may you be in knowledge, and etc. etc. So, with the blessings of the Lord, the devotees like Chitraketu or any one of us, if we are sincerely endeavoring to live the instructions of Bhagavatam, then we get high levels of tolerance. And that is what we understand from this purport, and also from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshastaka, which says Tarorapi Sahishnuna. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshastaka is speaking about the levels of how a devotee is progressing, you know, how he is progressing from absolute no taste in holy name to realizing that I have no taste, and to he realizes it so much that he starts becoming humble and more humble, that he becomes humbler than the straw on the street. And His Grace Burijan Prabhu in the year 2022 retreat, he said that none of us are aware of the level of humility which we are supposed to have. We know that we should be more tolerant than the cut piece of grass, more tolerant than the blade of grass. But how it feels, what is that level of humility? We are not even aware of it. We have no idea of it. So how to be like that, we have no idea. So that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, that you don't have to worry about that. You simply chant attentively. Simply by chanting attentively, more and more, the levels of humility will increase. And how we will know whether it's increased or not? When testing situations come, are we able to zip our lips and take any kind of curse, like Chitraketu Maharaj did? When Mother Parvati got offended, how nicely he took it. Like that, are we able to take when people really speak in a humiliating way and abusive language? Are we able to take it? That's a test. And if we are able to take it, then we have improved. Maybe we have to improve further. And then we come to the level. So that is one expectation. Pranadapi Shunichena. Then comes Tarorapi Seshana. We have to be more tolerant than the tree. So when we become more tolerant than the tree, that means we have already become more humbler than the straw on the street. Then we become more tolerant than the tree, because tree, even if it cuts, it will not ask why. Aren't we asking if somebody really chokes us? Aren't we asking, hey, what are you doing? Aren't we getting upset with them even slightly? That means we are not like the tree yet. So when we come to that level of tolerance, that's when we become more beautiful, according to Lord Shiva, more beautiful than Mother Parvati also. And Lord Shiva is saying that devotees are more beautiful than even Mother Parvati, because the levels of tolerance are matchless. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the devotees that we have to chant so much actively, so much quantity with so much of quality of attention to the holy name, that we will automatically become humbler than the straw on the street and more tolerant than the tree, and will be automatically able to give all the respect, especially to those who disrespect us. And at that time, we are able to do Kirtaniya Sadari. This as per Shikshashtakam. Then we come to the level of not looking for wealth or fame or followers or opposite genders' attraction towards us. Then we come to the level giving up all that, means not getting attached to that. Then we come to the level of, crying, singing holy names and all that. Then finally we come to the point of saying that even if you kick me or even if you embrace me, I will always remain as your servant. That kind of mood. No matter what you do, I will never leave the service to your lotus feet. This is the mood that comes finally in the life of a devotee. So Lord Shiva is saying that we have to come to that level of tolerance. He's telling that Mother Parvati, your tolerance is not enough. You may be very beautiful, but the King Chitraketu turned out to be more beautiful than his own wife, not because of his external charm, but because of his level of tolerance. Next verse, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 28. Narayana para sarve na kutaschana bibhyati swarga pavarga narakeshva api tulyartha darshinaha. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17, Text 28, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Devotees solely engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, and the hellish planets are all the same. For such devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Parvati might naturally have inquired how devotees become so exalted. Therefore, this verse explains that they are Narayana Para, simply dependent on Narayana. They do not mind reverses in life because in the service of Narayana, they have learned to tolerate whatever hardships there may be. They do not care whether they are in heaven or in hell. They simply engage in the service of the Lord. This is their excellence. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. They are liberally engaged in the service of the Lord and therefore they are excellent. By using the word Bhratya Bhratyanam, the Lord Shiva pointed out that although Chitraketu provided one example of tolerance and excellence, all the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord as eternal servants are glorious. They have no eagerness to be happy by being placed in the heavenly planets, becoming liberated, or becoming one with the Brahman, the supreme effulgence. These benefits do not appeal to their minds. They are simply interested in giving direct service to the Lord. You see, these devotees, if all they want is to keep serving and serving and serving without even expecting an appreciation, but completely open for all corrections, for all criticism, for all reversals, because their focus is not avoiding a reversal, but their focus is simply living to please Guru, Krishna, and Vaishnavas. Their focus is simply always pleasing Guru, Krishna, and Vaishnavas. So, if that is the focus, and they are always prepared to accept with open arms whatever mercy comes in the form of appreciation or criticism, as in the form of success or failures, because their goal is not success, their goal is not avoiding failure, their goal is not happiness, their goal is not avoiding distress, their goal is only one: vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana bahu shaka hyanantascha. I forgot the next line. I forgot. Remember Bhakti? Vyavasayatmika hyanantascha. I forgot the line. It says that the devotee who is fully focused on doing one particular service with one pointed attention. His intelligence is really sharp. It's like a magnifying glass. You allow the sunlight to pass through it and make it fall into a single small focus on the paper. Then what happens when the sunlight just focuses on the paper at one particular point? then that point burns. But if the focus is so big, it doesn't burn. So like that, if we are only focused on pleasing, now onwards, I'm just going to live and do all those duties, whatever comes in my plate, like the duty of a wife, duty of a mother, duty of a grandmother, whatever comes in my plate, I shall take care to do it, and duty of a disciple, duty of a devotee, duty of a neighbor, whatever comes, I will do it to please Guru and Krishna. No, whatever comes, I take it as Krishna given duty, and I will do it to please Guru and Krishna. If that is our mood, and if we are just indifferent to appreciation or criticism, indifferent to success or failures, because we're not doing it for success, or we're not trying to avoid failure, we are only focused on how to please Krishna. Then where is the question? Where is the question of becoming unhappy? Such people, by serving with such unconditional, unmotivated heart in an uninterrupted way, what happens to them is, in an uninterrupted way, as if unconditionally, they stay very blissful. They stay so blissful. Therefore, they're so much always full of spiritual energy, fully active, fully joyful, fully motivated, even though they may be having fully health problems. Like my spiritual master is full of health problems, but he's always fully motivated, fully joyful to take so many services, so much of online preaching, so many meetings, and so much of physical exercises as a part of his health correction, and so many restrictions. He takes it all up, but he keeps looking forward for service, service, and service, and nothing else. So, if our goal is service, then nothing can stop us. And our spiritual master is example for that. And all devotees who are very sincere are like that. All proper disciples, they have all preached till death. Whoever was having cancer, like Bhaktitirtha Swami Maharaj, how many books he wrote, how much he preached till he left the world. So we see that all these great souls, nothing can stop them. They continue to serve. Why? Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. Because their buddhi is focused on one thing. And what is that one thing? How to best please my spiritual master. And they have nothing else as their priority. So if that is the mentality, then what happens? Then such people are always ready to tolerate, because they are here to take any distress or any failure or any success in an indifferent manner. So they are easily tolerant. They don't value the end result, because they know the result comes from Krishna. And whatever Krishna wants, let him give. But I will keep trying to please Krishna. That's all. So with that, I think we end the session now. That was verse number 10 to 6, chapter 17, text 28. So from 21st verse to 28th verse, we have covered. Let me see if the next verse is only translation. I will read it. If it is having a purport, then I'm not going to read it. Yeah, it is having a purport, so we're not going to read it. So if you have any questions, now you are welcome to ask me questions, my dear friends. So thank you very much. Or if you have any comments, please convey your comments. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Madhavi. Pranam. Very nice class, Madhavi. Madhavi, you covered till verse number 28?
28.
Okay. Thank you,
All
Madhavi.
good, Srila Prabhupada. Is anybody has any questions or comments? If there's no comments, no questions, then we can wind the class. I'll save my time.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Dandavat pranams.
Such a wonderful class every time, as usual. And you explain so nicely. So thank you, Hare Krishna. I don't have any question, but yeah, the devotees you joined, so welcome to the call.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Thank you so much, dear Mataji. If there's no question, we can wind up and I can continue because today whole day went in the phone calls for me. I have my sadhana left. So I'll get back to my sadhana. If you have question, you can ask.
काय म्हणू त्यांच्या ओळखीचं तुमच्या ओळखीचे आले असं म्हणतो.
We welcome the new devotees.
Okay, Mataji. Looks like there is no question. We can end here. Thank you again, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Krishna Prabhupada.
Then
Nicarian class and beautifying a session. Hare Krishna.
all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम.
Dandat pranams.
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. अग्रेस अमृत माधवी माता जी की जय. थैंक यू सो मच माता जी. हरे कृष्णा.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandat pranams.